Well, well, well. Wellity, wellity, wellity. Looks like AndyManCam is going on tour again. But the question is, to where? Where has this mighty Mahusive conveyance conveyed him to? Which twists shall he be conquering on his mighty steed? Which fair land shall he be exploring? And ultimately, why is he referring to himself in the third person? All of these questions and more shall be answered hence! That's right, we are in the beautiful U of K. I've come home once again. And obviously I could try and keep you guessing about the ultimate destination, but it's a bit stupid because, well, it's there in the title, isn't it? You clicked on the link probably. So we are going to Scotland, ladies and gents. Going to do the NC500. More or less. A little bit more, a little bit less. As ever, not without a couple of detours. And, once again, the disappointing realisation that winter is coming to an end as I have to use the heated grips at the end of August. And also, with it being 7 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty nipsy. Oh, I've got tears in my eyes. I don't know if it's because of the cold wind or just the emotions of being home again. Being on the wrong side of the road. So, anyway, here's how it's going to go down. Ultimate location, obviously Scotland, that's where the North Coast 500 is, which for those of you that don't know, is a 500 mile, roughly, stretch of road which basically just follows the coast of northern Scotland. Starts and finishes at Inverness, does a loop. We're going to be doing most of that with a little bit of extra perhaps. Not starting and finishing at Inverness, we're actually going to be starting at Glasgow. And I say we because via several detours, side projects and opportunistic jollies, I'm going to be meeting up somewhere along the way with my parents again. So that's MummyManCam and Stepdad Ian of Croatia and Lake Como tour fame. Is it? They're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time. Ian's going to be on his bike. Mum's actually going to be in their new camper van, following us behind, joining in a few bits, but amazingly providing the whole team with a mobile base camp. How cool is that? Now, quite understandably, I've been looking forward to this trip for a very long time. Feels like forever since the last time I actually went on a tour. I suppose a year is forever, isn't it, for a biker? But sadly, yesterday, the first day of the trip, wasn't the resounding success that I had hoped and prepared for. And for a start, the bright-eyed and alert of you will have noticed that the crash bars have gone, got a different tail pack, and a squishy little seat cushion. We've just got some new gubbins sent through from SW Motec to try out for this trip, but sadly, due to various logistical complications, I was saying that 10 times when you're pissed. Yeah, the stuff literally arrived the night before I was planning to leave. So in the morning with daylight, I very quickly mounted on the new SW Motec crash pads, repacked my luggage into the new Legend Gear LR1 tail bag they've sent me, and then, yeah, it didn't take very long at all to stick the seat cushion on, bung some of my wind into it. But I'll show you all of those things later on. We'll have a little bit of a walk around the bike in touring Fettel to see exactly what the setup this time is. Yeah, that was a little bit of a time waster that, in hindsight, I probably could have done without. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm in the place where if I filter, nobody will throw stones at me. But I do have panniers on, so I need to remember that. Yeah, where was I? Lost my thread because of the early morning red bomb. Tingles in my wobbly parts. Yes, the time waste that I didn't need. Yeah, got all that finished. Obviously, lost about an hour that I really should have been on the road for. But then because my bike is in a garage, which is about a quarter of a mile away from my flat, I didn't want to carry all of the luggage, helmet, wearing leathers, all of that down to the garage. So I thought I'll go down there and pick up the bike, bring it back, and load it up in front of the flat. One small problem. About a month ago, I very gratefully received a USB charging point from Ultimate Add-ons to go with the iPhone case I've got on the handlebars here. Thanks very much, Ultimate Add-ons. But the problem was, when I finally mounted this USB charging thingy last week, I stuck the main box under the seat out of the way, and it's got a switch on it. So you can turn it off and turn it on, which turns out if you leave it turned on, it sucks all of the life out of your battery. So within 2 days, having left it turned on, I jumped on the bike full of the beans and excitement of an impending trip. And I don't know, we're in Nodland now. I need to nod. Nobody's going to respond to a wave. They just think I'm swatting at flies or something. Yeah, so I jumped on the bike, turned the key, absolutely dead. Not even the click, 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 click noise that you get that tells you that you're close. It was stone dead. The display didn't come on, nothing. Absolute limp noodle. Now luckily I've still got the Noco GB20 boost pack gadget in the garage that I've had in the garage and not touched pretty much since I did the review video. And rightly so, it's only there as an emergency when the bike won't start. And quite impressively, it's been sat there for 18 months and it's still had 25% charge. So anyway, I boshed that on the bike, started it up, all good. Trip is back on. Took the bike home, brought all the luggage down, strapped it all onto the bike, we're ready to go. One problem, some absolute plonker has left the keys to the bike in the flat. That plonker would be me, obviously. And at this point I should probably tell you, if you didn't already know, I live on the 5th floor with no lift. So after sweating and shimphing and straining, getting all of the stuff strapped on, secured down, ready to travel, I then had to run to the top of the stairs to get the key for the bike before somebody came along and had away with all of my gadgets and toys, which were all strapped lovingly to the bike, ready to head to England. So, with a planned departure time of 10 o'clock in the morning, I eventually finally got away at 12:30. Nod nod. Which meant that my original plan of taking a nice relaxing ride for the entire day to catch my night ferry and avoid the motorways all day so that I could just relax, hopefully not square the tyres off anymore because they are getting a little bit flat in the middle now. I'm actually really hoping, above all hope, that I've got enough meat left on them to see this trip through. But you know, people love a bit of drama, so there you go. The tyres might not last for this trip. There's the drama. Yeah, the idea of a relaxing ride completely out the window. I pretty much had to take the motorway the entire distance, and although I love this bike with all of the love that man can have for a machine, on the motorway it is absolute torture. My knees are just a little bit too tightly cramped. The seat leans just a little bit too much to the front, and obviously there's the wind factor. So yeah, I got to the ferry a little bit more broken than I was really hoping to be. But anyway, we're here now, so let's get on with this trip, shall we? I've forgotten how bumpy the roads are in the UK. Should maybe be a bit more respectful of the early morning. Only in the villages. Oh, it's so good to be out on some proper country roads. Don't sing it. You're singing it, aren't you? Yeah, I'm singing it in my head too. Country road, take me home to the place where I belong. So bumpy. What? Look at that. Even in deepest, darkest East Anglia, I've found roadworks and a diversion. Brilliant. You've said that 4 times now. Starting to think you're just swinging the leg. No, don't believe you. Oh, that's a terrible surface. So all those signs have apparently just been put there in advance for when the road will be closed. I could have just missed quite a nice little stretch of twistiness for the sake of playing it safe. You see, kids, no risk, no fun. I laugh in the face of roadworks. I kick sand in the mouth of road closures. Little town, it's a quiet village. No, we've been through this before. Zip it. There's a lot of road closing going on around here. Maybe I'm not the only one that's noticing the incredible bumpiness of the roads in this area. Falsch. Yeah, I think I would have been better off on the Versys on this kind of stuff. It's also very loose and gravelly in the middle. And we enter into Norfolk, Nelson's country, and the first one of my detours on this little trip. Well, in actual fact, this is kind of the beginning and end of all of my detours on this trip, as I'm heading once again to the English Electric Motorcycle Company to pick up a Zero, their brand new SRF model, for 4 days of high-charged hijinks. And during that time, I've got planned a little ride out with Smoky Bar, hopefully going to be meeting up with Teapot One, Richie Vida, Lamb Chop Rides, and the Missenden Flyer, before I then give the Zero back and carry on with this trip to Scotland. So skeptical. I'm so skeptical. We've heard such horror stories about motorbike theft and the state of crime and theft in general in England. And like, first of all, while I was having my breakfast in there, which was a delightful fry-up, first one I've had for a very long time, a van came screaming up here, parked right next to my bike, and then the door slid open, and as the door slid open, my heart slid into my mouth, as I thought somebody was going to be having my bike into the van. So I was ready to spring into action. Turn out it was the baker delivering the baps. But then after I finished my breakfast, I was getting the bike all ready. I got a tap on my shoulder and I got ready to karate chop someone in the carotid artery, and it was a little lady come out of the laundrette asking me to help her because she didn't know how the machine worked. I think it should just start. There you go. All good.
It's going, is it?
Yeah, that's on. Brilliant. Well, happy washing.
Thank you.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
Bugger. I've gone the wrong way now. So yeah, next stage, but not before a nice fry-up. That was very, very enjoyable. Meanwhile, Google Maps doesn't know where I am. According to Google Maps, I'm currently moonwalking through that field. Come on, Google. It'd be good if you could reprogram the Android phones, so instead of that whole OK Google thing, you could get its attention by saying, "F***'s sake, Google." Yeah, there's one. We've already gone past the junction, mate. You can't tell me to turn 200 metres past the sodding turn. Why are you struggling so much? Should I got you a coffee as well? Yeah, that'll be the next thing on the list to tick off. Fish and chips. Haven't had that for a very long time. The last time I was in the UK with the missus on the way to our wedding, where she became the missus, we'd hoped to get fish and chips before we dropped the hire car off on the way to the airport, but at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, sadly all the fish and chip shops were closed. So we had to go without. Which means I think it's been over a year since I last went to a chippy. What is that about? Ugh. Oh, this is a disgusting road surface. I had completely forgotten that this was possible in today's civilized society, that any government agency would create a road this horrible. Let's just lump this in with the gypsy gangs that go around gravelling people's driveways. It's just as dodgy, the quality is probably just as shoddy, and I imagine it's just as long lasting. What are you doing, England? I've been on gravel dirt tracks with less loose stones on them. But anyway, I digress. So I waved into the driveway. Yeah, I'm going to pick up a 0 SRF for 4 days of hijinks. The disinterested turn of a guard dog that doesn't give a shit. So please do check out the links to the series of videos that I get out of this little test ride while I take one of these beauties away and, to be honest, Raz's little tartars off for 4 days. And then after that, this journey will continue. So I'll see you in a minute.